The elevator doors slid open with a soft chime. Clara stepped out, clutching her worn handbag and a folder filled with resumes she'd printed from the small shop across the street. Her palms were sweating. She took a deep breath, steadying herself before the glass doors of Hamilton Enterprises, one of the biggest firms in the city. The job meant everything. Rent was due. The twins' school fees were overdue. And she had barely enough left for groceries. But she told herself, just one interview, just one chance. As she pushed open the door, the receptionist smiled politely. "Good morning. You're here for the assistant manager position." "Yes," Clara replied, her voice soft, tired, but hopeful. She followed the woman through the hallway, the sound of her heels echoing in the pristine silence. Her heart thudded with every step. And then she froze. Behind the sleek mahogany desk sat a man in a navy suit, head bent over a file. When he finally looked up, their eyes met, and the folder slipped from her hands. The world went quiet. It was him, the man who once held her heart, and the man who never knew he had 2 children waiting for him. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then he whispered, almost breathless, "Clara." She swallowed hard. "Hello, Michael." But her voice trembled as the twins' photo peeked out from her folder on the floor, and his eyes locked on it. He reached out slowly, disbelief spreading across his face. "Those kids," he murmured. They look like..." Her eyes filled with tears. "Don't," she whispered, turning away. "Please don't." The room pulsed with silence, one that carried 5 years of heartbreak, secrets, and unanswered questions. If this moment already stirred something inside you, stay with us and don't forget to subscribe. Because what happens next will remind you, some goodbyes never last forever. Rain pattered softly against the windowpane of the tiny 2-bedroom apartment Clara called home. The wallpaper had started to peel, and one of the twins' shoes sat drying near the heater, torn at the sole again. "Mama, is there milk?" little Ella asked, clutching her empty cup. Clara smiled faintly, hiding the truth. "Of course, sweetheart. Just a little left." She poured what was left of the carton into 2 cups, carefully dividing it so both her children could have the same amount. Watching them sip, she forced a smile, that same brave smile every mother wears when the world doesn't give her a break. Her mornings always started before sunrise. She'd iron their uniforms, pack small lunches, then rush to the cafe down the street where she worked part-time. The pay barely covered bills. But it was something. Sometimes, when the twins were asleep, she'd sit by the window and stare at the city lights, thinking of the life she almost had. 5 years ago, she was a marketing assistant with dreams, a fiancé who promised her forever, and a future that looked golden. That fiancé was Michael Hamilton. He was ambitious, brilliant, the kind of man who could make you believe in destiny. Until the day destiny shattered. When Clara told him she was pregnant, everything changed. He didn't yell. He didn't even argue. He just went quiet, the kind of silence that feels like goodbye. He left the next morning for a business trip and never came back. No calls, no letters, just a ghost where love used to be. Clara waited 4 weeks until she couldn't anymore. Her parents had already passed, so she faced motherhood alone, with 2 infants, no savings, and a heart that refused to hate the man who broke it. There were nights she'd hold both babies, whispering, "You have me. That's enough." Even when it wasn't. Every diaper, every fever, every sleepless night. She built her world around those 2 tiny souls. And when a friend told her about an opening at Hamilton Enterprises, she almost laughed at the coincidence. But desperation can silence pride. Maybe he's not even there anymore, she told herself, clutching her worn-out handbag that morning. Maybe fate just wants me to try. She didn't know fate wanted her to see. To see the man who once walked away, now sitting across the desk, powerful, unrecognizable, and completely unaware that the children in her photo shared his eyes. She didn't come looking for forgiveness or love. She came looking for a chance. But fate had something else in mind. For a long, unbearable moment, neither of them spoke. The ticking of the clock filled the air like a heartbeat. Michael's fingers trembled slightly as he picked up the photo of the twins that had slipped from her folder. He studied their faces. 2 bright smiles, a boy and a girl. Both had his eyes. "Clara," his voice cracked softly. "Are they?" She forced a thin smile, masking the storm in her chest. "They're my kids," she said quietly, reaching for the photo. "That's all you need to know." But Michael didn't let go. His gaze was lost somewhere far beyond the office walls, back to the nights he couldn't sleep, the years he buried himself in work, the woman he'd tried to forget but never could. "I didn't know," he whispered, almost to himself. "You didn't tell me." Clara let out a trembling breath, eyes glistening. "I did. You just weren't listening back then." Silence. Then, a knock on the door. His assistant stepped in briskly, snapping him back to reality. "Sir, your 11 o'clock call with Tokyo is ready." Michael straightened up, the CEO mask returning to his face. "Cancel it." The assistant blinked. "But sir, I said cancel it," he repeated, sharper this time. Clara flinched at his tone. He noticed, softening. "Please sit down." She hesitated, lowering herself into the chair across from him. The leather squeaked under her weight. The sound felt too loud in the tension-filled air. "Why are you here, Clara?" he asked finally. "Why now?" Her lips parted, but the words came out slow, pained. "Because I'm tired, Michael. I'm tired of running from bills. Tired of pretending I don't see your face in my kids every morning. I just needed this job. That's all." He leaned back, conflicted. The confident CEO now looked like a man standing on shifting ground. "I'll have to review your resume," he said quietly. "We'll see what position we can." She interrupted, her voice trembling. "No, I don't want favors. If you're hiring me, hire me because I earned it." He nodded, studying her, not as the woman he once loved, but as someone who had carried the weight of 2 lives alone. Just then, his intercom buzzed. "Sir, your father's on line 2, his secretary said. "He says it's urgent." Michael's jaw tightened. His father, the man who once demanded he choose success over distraction. He pressed the button and replied coldly, "Tell him I'm busy." Then he turned back to Clara. "When can you start?" She froze. "You're hiring me?" "I'm giving you a chance," he said, his eyes dark but unreadable. "You deserve that much." Her lips parted to thank him, but his next words cut through the air like glass. "But if you're hiding anything else from me, Clara," he paused, his voice tightening, "I'll find out." Her breath caught, because deep down, there was something she hadn't told him yet. He thought the truth ended with that photo. But what she was still hiding would soon tear open the past all over again. The first week in her new job felt like walking through memories that refused to fade. Every hallway whispered of a past she'd buried. Every closed-door meeting reminded her of a life she once almost had. Clara worked quietly, keeping her head down, determined to earn her place. But Michael couldn't stop watching her. He'd catch glimpses of her through the glass walls, the way she smiled faintly at co-workers, the tired slump of her shoulders when she thought no one was looking. She was different now, calmer, stronger, yet carrying something unspoken. One evening, he stopped by the break room, pretending to grab a coffee. She was there, fixing the copier, her hair tied back, her blouse slightly rumpled. "You're still here," he said softly. She didn't turn. "Deadlines don't wait, Mr. Hamilton." He almost smiled at her tone. "You still call me that?" She straightened, meeting his gaze for the first time in days. "It's your name, isn't it?" He paused, then said quietly, "It used to be Michael to you." Her lips trembled slightly. "That was another lifetime." The silence between them thickened. heavy with everything left unsaid. Then suddenly, his phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number lit up the screen. "You don't deserve her. Not after what you did." His expression hardened. He pocketed the phone quickly, forcing a neutral smile. "Good night, Clara." She watched him leave, uneasy. She could feel something shifting, as if the walls of this new life were closing in again. The next morning, Clara arrived early. A small envelope was waiting on her desk. No name, no logo, just a folded note inside that read, "You don't belong here. Walk away before it's too late." Her heart pounded. Was someone trying to get her fired? Or was this about him? She tore the note in half, stuffing it into her bag just as Michael walked in. "You okay?" he asked, noticing her pale face. "I'm fine," she lied, forcing a smile. "Just didn't sleep well." He studied her quietly, that same look he used to give her years ago, when he could sense every emotion she tried to hide. "You always were a bad liar," he said softly, almost fondly. Her eyes glistened. "And you were always good at leaving." That shut him down. Later that evening, Michael sat in his office, scrolling through an old hard drive. He wasn't sure why. Maybe guilt, maybe longing. But then he found it, an archived folder labeled Personal. Inside, there were photos. Clara's birthday at the lake, her laughter frozen in sunlight, and one voicemail he'd never deleted. Her voice, shaky, tearful. "Michael, please call me back. I need you to know something before it's too late." The message ended abruptly. He replayed it. Again. And again. The sound of her crying pierced him in ways success never could heal. Just then, a soft knock interrupted his thoughts. "Come in," he said quietly. It was his assistant. "Sir, the woman from HR dropped this off. It's about your new hire, Clara." He opened the file. His breath caught. Inside were her background documents, and a letter from a local hospital. "Single mother of twins," the line read. "Emergency contact, Michael Hamilton." His world tilted. He grabbed his phone, dialing the number listed. A nurse answered. "Yes, Mr. Hamilton. We have you listed as next of kin for the twins, Ella and Noah Hamilton." He froze. "Hamilton," he repeated. "Yes," the nurse said, confused. "That's what's written on their birth certificate." He ended the call slowly, heart pounding. The truth hit him like thunder. The kids weren't just hers. They were his. He'd spent years building an empire, never knowing the foundation of his heart was waiting in a small apartment across town. He rose from his chair, eyes burning, the photo of the twins still lying on his desk. He whispered, almost to himself, "I have a family, and I didn't even know." The night outside Hamilton Tower was dark and quiet, but inside Michael's office, the air felt electric, heavy, tense, almost alive. He sat there for hours, staring at the twins' photo. Every time he blinked, he saw Clara, holding them, smiling for two, fighting for three. When the elevator dinged at 10 p.m., he already knew it was her. "Mr. Hamilton?" Clara's voice broke the silence, soft but steady. She stepped in, holding a stack of reports. "I didn't mean to intrude, but you asked me to bring." Her words stopped when she saw the photo on his desk. Her hands tightened around the papers. "You found out." He didn't move. "Why didn't you tell me?" She swallowed hard. "Because it wouldn't have mattered." He rose from his chair, his voice shaking with something between anger and heartbreak. "Wouldn't have mattered? Clara, they're my children." She flinched, blinking back tears. "You think I didn't try to tell you? You think I didn't call? You were too busy becoming him." She gestured toward the office, the empire he built. The man who only cared about ambition, about legacy. His jaw clenched. "That's not fair." "Fair?" she interrupted, her voice breaking. "You left me, Michael. No goodbye. No explanation. Just silence. I spent nights wondering what I did wrong. If I wasn't enough, if we weren't enough. He ran a hand through his hair, pacing. I didn't know you were pregnant. I swear. Clara. I didn't. She looked at him with disbelief. Then something softer. For a moment, she saw the man she once loved, standing in the wreckage of everything they lost. You didn't check, she whispered. That's the truth. You didn't want to know. Silence stretched between them. The city lights from the window painted their faces in gold and shadow. He finally said, You're right. I was a coward. He turned away, voice breaking. After my father's accident, I shut down. I thought love made you weak. I thought walking away would protect you. Protect me, she repeated, tears spilling now. You broke me. Her voice trembled, full of years of swallowed pain. You know what's worse than heartbreak, Michael? Watching your children ask why they don't have a dad and pretending it doesn't hurt. He closed his eyes, each word cutting deep. I wanted to be angry at you forever, she continued, quieter now. But every time they laughed, every time I saw your eyes in them, I couldn't. Michael turned slowly, his voice barely above a whisper. What are their names? She hesitated, then said softly, Ella and Noah. The names hung in the air. Small, simple, sacred. Something broke inside him. He crossed the room slowly, his voice shaking. I want to meet them. Clara froze. You can't just walk back into their lives. They don't even know you exist. He nodded slowly. Then I'll start small. Whatever it takes. If I have to earn their trust, and yours, I will. Her voice trembled. You don't even know how to be a father. He gave a sad smile. Then teach me. Tears filled her eyes. Not from pain this time, but from the terrifying possibility of hope. But before she could answer, his phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. You don't deserve a family. What's hidden always comes out. He looked up sharply, scanning the room. What is it? Clara asked, alarmed. He showed her the phone. Someone doesn't want me near you or the kids. Her face went pale. Michael, what have you gotten us into? The sound of thunder rolled outside as rain began to pour against the glass windows, the kind of storm that feels like fate itself knocking. They just opened the door to the truth. But behind that truth waited a storm neither of them saw coming. The next morning, the storm had passed, but something inside both of them had shifted. For the first time in years, Michael didn't wake up to emails or board reports. He woke up thinking about two names that now meant everything. Ella, Noah. He'd made a decision. That afternoon, Clara opened her apartment door to find Michael standing there. No driver, no suit jacket, no briefcase. Just a man holding a box of muffins and a nervous smile. Peace offering, he said quietly. Clara folded her arms. You brought muffins? I googled what dads bring on their first day, he said with a half smile. Apparently, muffins work. She almost laughed. Almost. But the fear in her eyes lingered. They're napping. You can't just show up here. He nodded. I know. I needed to start somewhere. Then, a small voice interrupted them. Mommy! Clara turned. Two tiny faces peeked from behind the hallway. Sleepy, curious. Michael froze. The boy's eyes, his eyes, looked back at him. He couldn't breathe. Clara, he whispered. That's them, isn't it? She nodded softly. Ella and Noah. The twins stepped closer. The boy tugged at Clara's hand. Who's that? He asked. She hesitated, then said gently, That's a friend, sweetheart. Michael knelt down slowly, tears filling his eyes. Hey there, he said softly. I'm Michael. Ella tilted her head. You brought muffins? He laughed through the lump in his throat. I did. But I think they might taste better if we share them. She smiled shyly, taking one from the box. Mommy says sharing is kind. He nodded. She's right. Your mom's very smart. And for a few fragile minutes, everything felt normal, like time had folded in on itself, giving them all a second chance. The office had changed too. Where there was once silence between them, there was now laughter. Small, cautious, but real. Clara worked side by side with him, helping with projects, rewriting the company's community initiatives to support single parents. Every decision she made came from experience, and every time she spoke, he listened. One afternoon, Michael stood at the company's new daycare center, something he'd built quietly, in her honor. Clara, he said softly when she joined him, I want this company to help people like you, people who never gave up even when life tried to break them. She smiled, eyes glistening. You really mean that? He nodded. I used to think success was money, but it's moments like this, seeing someone walk in with hope, that make it matter. Her voice softened. And what about us, Michael? He turned to her, his expression raw and honest. I lost you once because I didn't fight hard enough. I'm not making that mistake again. She looked at him for a long, silent second, then took his hand. Then fight for it right this time. He smiled through tears. I will. As the camera pans out, in your visual edit, the scene shifts to the twins running toward them in slow motion, their laughter filling the air like sunlight after rain. Clara bends down to hug them, and Michael kneels beside her. For the first time, they're all together. A family. Imperfect, fragile, but real. He spent years building walls made of ambition, only to learn that love was the foundation he needed all along. And sometimes, the hardest battles bring you the softest endings. He thought life had taken everything from him, but love found a way to give it all back. If this story touched your heart, don't leave just yet. There are more stories waiting to remind you that hope is never lost, not even when it hurts the most. Subscribe to SoulTwist Stories and keep watching, because sometimes the next video is the reminder your heart didn't know it needed.